Well, hello there. I've seen it. I've finally seen it. The first episode of Star Trek Picard Season 3. I won't be doing my normal breakdown. I simply don't have the time. I'm moving house in 2 days and I've got to get the setup broken down and ready to transfer over. So I won't be doing an awfully long video and I won't be doing a breakdown. The simple fact of the matter is there is far too much in this episode for me to be able to break down and give to you in a video. But I was just wanting to give you my thoughts, my opinions. I won't be able to cover everything. I'll cover what I can remember from the episode and just a quick fire review. Now I can see what Dave Cullen and Robert Meyer Burnett were talking about. This first episode. Now I've been had before with the first episode of season 2. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was going somewhere interesting, and then it hit me in the face, and I was really disappointed. This feels inherently different. This feels very much different to the other 2 seasons. Just in the first episode, there are some things that I really liked. I was really sort of captivated by. Dave and Rob, they're absolutely right. It is captivating from the very first moment. You're like, oh, okay, what's going on? You sort of get the feeling that he's saying, well, screw the previous 2 seasons, and it shares some similarities with season 1, episode 1. It starts very much the same way. You've got an old classic musical track, and you've got a ship in space, but this time it's not the Enterprise D, it's Crusher's ship. It feels like the first. I suppose the only thing I can say is it really feels like they're just. Terry Matalas is just blank slating it and starting Star Trek Picard again with much in the same characters. Now we've got Raffi in this episode, and I would say that she was relatively inoffensive. I mean, still sweary Raffi, but there's seems to be something a little deeper to her character. She seems to be a little bit more focused and a little bit less chaotic. We'll see if she ever does sort of come across Picard and call him stupid old man Picard. We see 7 of 9 in the episode. We see obviously Will Riker. There's a lot of great moments in there that I really enjoyed, but. And this is a real shame. You're watching this episode, or I'm sat here watching this episode, and I'm thinking, if it weren't for the scars that were already there. Now I'm still extremely cautiously optimistic, and I mean extremely cautiously optimistic. I can see why people were saying that it's very different. It has a different, not an entirely different feel to the other new Star Trek shows, but there is something different about it, and I quite enjoyed it. I found myself thinking, this isn't bad. This seems to be something. Now, are the typical new Trek tropes still there? Yes, they are. There's a lot of pew-pewing. Everything has to be sort of fast-paced, and especially with the firefights, it's there's no sort of phaser beams anymore. It's all pulse rifles and pulse phasers and whatnot. Is it still got the new Star Trek sense of morality? Yes, it does, which is, I think, a negative point to the show. There's very little regard for life. Is Starfleet as an organisation still sort of douchey? Yes, they are, and that's with the captain of the Titan. He's a complete douchebag, or is he? He may change later on in the season. I don't know, but he's a complete douchebag. He's racist against Borg, and he doesn't like them, and he doesn't like his own first officer. So, well, why do you have her? If not to torment her. There was a few really nice moments between Picard and Riker, but this episode in general was quite good. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to lie, I kind of enjoyed it, but I'm still very, 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 very cautious, because I've been burned before. I don't particularly like the way they are portraying Starfleet. Really, I don't really like what they're doing with Starfleet as a character. Starfleet mustn't know you mustn't trust Starfleet, you mustn't trust anyone, so they have to kind of go against Starfleet, and that anti-Starfleet, anti-Federation line still flows through. Perhaps there's a reason for that, I don't know. Now the character of Picard in this episode was not quite the same Picard that we've seen. I keep saying Picard. It's Picard, sorry. I'm very, very old. He's a lot more Jean-Luc Picard than season 1 and season 2 Picard, but he's still, to me, fumbling a little bit. He's still like, oh well, you look very old. Yes, I'm also very, very old. But all in all, it was an enjoyable episode. Again, I'm not going to do a breakdown. I'm really sorry. I can't give you screenshots or anything. My rig it's just not up to it at the moment. I couldn't route anything through to get any screenshots. So once I've had time to sort all of that out, videos should return to normal. And hopefully the next one will be in the new house. And I'll have the mood light up and running as well. I really appreciate everyone's patience on my current situation, and I really appreciate you stopping by and hearing my thoughts on Picard season 3 episode 1. I think it was, all in all, relatively inoffensive. It was, you could see where the love was. There was a bit of love there for Star Trek, and although it was jammed full of member berries, I think it was a little bit more tastefully done than other new Trek shows. And they've decided to go the Marvel route and put the credits at the end, animated credits at the end, and the opening is it's all in parts. So that was very interesting. Anyway, I'm rambling. I will be back next week with hopefully a full review for episode 2. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for watching. And you look after yourselves. You look after one another. I'll see you soon. Ta-ta for now.
I need the silence, stop the violence of the war in my head. Time's the healer, the eraser of all done and said. And as I fall back to my shelter, I know I'll only find peace in your smile.